Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to overcome hiking anxiety. If you are new here, welcome to the Hike Oregon family. I make hiking and backpacking vlogs, as well as gear reviews and just general tips and tricks videos to help you become a more confident hiker and backpacker. If you enjoy content like that, click that red subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified every time I make a new video. And if you want more content from me, you can always support me over on Patreon, where for as little as just $1, you get extra content throughout each month. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to overcome anxiety while hiking or even while preparing for a hike. First of all, it's important to identify what you are anxious about. Anxiety usually comes from being uncertain about something, so if you pinpoint the specific triggers, it will be easier to overcome. Maybe you're anxious about getting lost, maybe you're anxious about encountering wildlife. Are you nervous about the terrain and maybe your physical abilities? All of those things can be overcome, but just identifying what you're anxious about will be really helpful. My number 2 tip is start small and build gradually. If you start with something that's short, familiar, and well-traveled, a lot of those anxieties will already not be there. You probably won't get lost on something that's super well-traveled. You won't be alone. There likely won't be much wildlife that you have to fear, such as bears or cougars or wolves. And then if your worry is physical endurance and abilities, starting small helps with that as well. Build on your successes. So you do something short with minimal elevation gain, well, you feel really great about your accomplishment. The next time you can do something a little bit harder. And you keep doing that, and next thing you know, you're going to feel so confident, you're going to be standing on top of a mountain that you just summited. Something that helps me with my anxieties around hiking and backpacking is to plan. And also, knowledge is power. So when you plan ahead and you have the route that you're going to go, you have checked the weather, you have prepped your food and your gear, you have checked the map, you have a physical map that you're taking with you, you have read recent trip reports, all of that is going to help ease your mind when going on a trip. And then packing smart and knowing how to use the tools that you are packing. Pack a first aid kit, but also don't just throw one in your bag that you bought from the store. Know what's in it and know how to use the things that are in it. Same thing with like a water filter. If you're going on a day hike, especially in the summer, a long day hike, you might need extra water. Pack a water filter, but know how to use it. Tip number 4 is hike with supportive people and maybe find like a hiking mentor. If you are hiking or backpacking with someone that is experienced in the outdoors and has done this many, many times before, they're likely going to give you tips and tricks while you're on the trail, and that will help ease your anxiety while you're out there. And on that note, something that helps me personally, if I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety outdoors, generally I go outdoors to relieve my anxiety, but there are situations where I am anxious. Let's say there's a thunderstorm on the horizon. I'm kind of scared of thunderstorms, so talking through it with a friend, or let's say you see a wildfire starting to billow smoke in the distance, and you're really scared. You're not sure whether to turn back or go forward or what to do. Talking about your anxieties with your hiking partner that's there can really, really help. And also, they might be feeling the same way, and you can kind of commiserate, and it will also just ease the anxiety. And you can make a plan if it is actually a dangerous situation. 2 heads are always better than 1. You make a plan and you go forward. Number 5, confidence comes from competence. So building your outdoor knowledge, building your outdoor skills, having more and more experiences in the outdoors will just ease your mind when going out there. For example, knowing how to build a fire if you needed to, like I said, knowing how to use your first aid kit, knowing how to read a map and a compass. All of these things are very important tools and can really help if you're in a kind of sticky situation that could cause a lot of anxiety. And then last but not least, it's always okay okay to turn back. I used to think that turning around meant utter failure. Today is ruined. The hike is ruined. Like I totally failed. I didn't accomplish what I set out to accomplish. Honestly, a lot of the time, if you don't trust your gut, you could end up in a not so great situation. That gut feeling is important, but there's also that difference between, okay, I'm just being super anxious and having a gut feeling. So knowing that difference is also important, because otherwise you might just be turning around every time you go hiking and you might not actually get to go out because you're driven by that anxiety. So kind of running through your anxiety and being like, okay, am I anxious because I'm alone? Am I anxious because of the terrain? Am I anxious because of impending weather or whatever? Running through your anxieties and then coming up with a solution, or hey, I'm prepared for that, or hey, I'm safe. I have pepper spray or a taser or a firearm or my dog. I don't need to be scared about being alone. Or let me call a friend. It'll be a lot more fun if I go with a friend. Or let's go somewhere else where there isn't a thunderstorm. And then of course there are just situations where you just get a weird feeling, like you've had no anxiety about anything about the hike all day and you're driving to the trailhead and you're super excited and you just get there and you're like, this is a weird feeling. And then you might continue a mile down the trail and you just have an uneasy feeling. This has happened to me twice where I actually did not even go on the hike. I did not set foot on the trail because I had such a horrible, uneasy feeling. And both times I actually wasn't alone. So I was with someone and we both had that just weird, uneasy gut feeling of something's not right here. We shouldn't be here. Let's leave. Listening to your gut is very important. Also, if you're not feeling like you're physically able to do something on the hike, let's say you're really sketched out by the terrain or you're afraid of heights or something like that, push yourself a little bit, because that's how you push your limits and how you get better at something. But also knowing, okay, like if I keep going, like I'm afraid of heights, for example. So I'm very good at like climbing to the top, but once I'm there, I get so freaked out. And if I look down, that's when my fear starts. And then it becomes like physical fear. And if that fear goes into your body and you like physically start trembling and stuff like that, it can actually be really dangerous and really difficult to climb down, because then you don't trust your body. You're shaking and you're unstable. So I know that about myself. And so I always take a look, like I'll go a few steps or, a few handholds, a few climbs, and then I'll look down and be like, okay, am I okay with this? Am I okay with what this looks like? Could I climb down without being scared? If the answer is yes, then I can keep going. If the answer is nope, I think when I get to the top, if I saw this, I would not be okay going down, then it's time to go down. Knowing that about yourself is very important. And the only way to really test this is by going out hiking. I hope this was slightly helpful. I know it can be anxiety inducing to do something new, but it can also be so exciting and so rewarding. Keep that in mind, that the more you do something and the more you gain knowledge, the less anxiety you'll have. Anxiety is just our mind's way of trying to keep us safe, but we don't want to be in a situation where we're just holed up at home because we have so much and such loud anxiety. So knowing how to push past that is really important. I hope you guys enjoy the outdoors, and if you have any more questions about anxieties or any weird hiking scenarios, just drop them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I'd love to hear down in the comments below what some of your hiking anxieties are, and maybe even how you've overcome them. If you don't already, go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. That's where I post all of my recent hiking and backpacking adventure pictures. And if you want to hike and backpack here in this amazing state of Oregon, check out my website, hikeoregon.net. You'll find tons of hiking and backpacking information there, as well as info on snowshoeing, waterfall hikes, and so much more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next adventure.